But first, we've got a beautiful film celebrating a national treasure, the late Dame Barbara Windsor. So tonight, her husband Scott gives a very personal and really moving account of their life together.
So she always said to me, listen, love, one day when I'm gone, they will ask you to do a book. She said, and you'll do a good one. She said, I know that, but you must be honest if you do one, otherwise there's no point in doing it. Dame Barbara Windsor was loved by the nation. She'll be forever remembered as the cheeky carry-on girl and the fiery landlady of the Queen Vic.
Get out of my pub right now!
I'm not going anywhere.
I said get out!
But to me, this talented, joyful, courageous woman was simply Bar, the love of my life. It was family which first brought us together. I'd gone down to Hove to see my parents, and they said, you should stay down, our old friend Barbara Windsor's coming. And I went, I'm sure she's really nice. I said, but do you really think I want to have dinner with you two and Barbara Windsor? But as I was fresh out of drama school, they persuaded me to stay and meet a true professional. She was incredibly youthful. She was very pretty, very feminine. Had these incredible eyes and this, you know, blonde curly hair. Over the next few months, we saw each other a lot, and we fell in love. We were aware from the start that the 26-year age gap would cause a stir. Half the time, Barbara would say, oh, yeah, he's a mate of mine, or he's just helping me out at the moment. But the spotlight was about to shine more brightly on us. In 1994, she was cast as the formidable Peggy Mitchell in EastEnders.
Grant!
Ross Kemp, her on-screen son, was delighted when she joined the cast.
You know, this megastar, in my eyes, who was now going to play my mum. I was so privileged to be working with her, but she was so honest about it. She was shaking.
There was a lot of pressure, wasn't there? There was a lot of pressure on her. Barbara played Peggy on and off for 22 years.
Grant!
She and Ross shared some dramatic moments.
Grant had to slap Peggy, right? And I read it and I went, oh, I don't want to do this. And I just do this, and this kind of little tap. She went over the mantelpiece like she'd been hit by Mike Tyson.
Go back on me!
I mean, the letters flooded in. And I went, thanks, Bar, for that.
Just a little bit theatrical.
Yeah, just a little bit.
EastEnders made Barbara a star again, and with that came a lot of attention. So we didn't hide away, you know. Yes, she was instantly recognisable to everyone. I used to say it was like walking down the street with Tinkerbell. Because as people walked towards you and they saw her, they just kind of smile, this thing, oh, look, it's Babs. Barbara and I got married in 2000 and spent many happy years together. But in 2014, we were devastated when Barbara was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. When we eventually shared the news, we received massive support from the public. And in 2019, I ran the London Marathon to raise money for Alzheimer's charities, supported by some of the EastEnders cast, including Tanya Franks, whose stepfather also has Alzheimer's.
We used to come here first,
Yeah,
didn't we? We used to
yeah.
come and meet you and be all in our running gear.
Yes.
Barbara would say, what's all this? And, you know, you and your get-up, she used to say.
I remember she said to me, your legs are too little to run. Thank you. On the day, me and Tanya stuck together and we crossed the finishing line at exactly the same moment. And the first thing I did was to phone Barbara, and I said, Barbara, I said, I've just run the marathon. And she went, oh, that's nice, dear. What time will you be home? Over the next year, Barbara's illness got progressively worse, and she died on the 10th of December, 2020. She always said to me was, she went, listen, darling, I'll go first, because that's the way it'll be. And she said, but what I want you to do, I want you to be broken-hearted. I want devastation. She said, but then I want you to pick yourself up, and I want you to live the best possible life you can. She said, because that's what I always did.
Oh, wasn't that beautiful?
Lovely, it really
Thank
was.
you, Scott. She was so loved, wasn't she? Obviously by Scott, but by everybody else too. And his book, By Your Side, My Life Loving Barbara Windsor, is out on Thursday. Bradley, you knew Barbara, and you met Barbara many times. How do you remember her?
I knew Bob and Scott. I've known Scott 30 years and stuff, but I worked with Barbara quite a few times. And we used to do things like Friday night as music night with the Radio 2, BBC Radio 2 Orchestra and stuff like that. And we did nights like tributes to Lionel Bart. And because Lionel cast Babs in Sparrows Can't Sing way back in the West End.
That was a breakthrough for her, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, And then we did musical nights together, and I did stuff. I've known her years, and it's lovely to see that. Funnily enough, I only spoke to Scott a couple of weeks ago, and he's a smashing lad, and they were so in love. They were so in love. Really brilliant.
It really comes across.
Yeah, brilliant.